What if the reason Richmond, Virginia hasn't changed is because you haven't decided to change it yet? And what if the safer, stronger, more unified city you want to live in is waiting on you to take responsibility for it? Let me ask you something. How do we actually make Richmond a better place to live? Not talk about it, not post about it, not complain about it, but actually change it. Because everyone that lives in the city of Richmond, Virginia wants a better city, safe neighborhoods, stronger families, less violence, more unity. But here's the truth most people don't want to face. Cities don't change because of wishes. Cities change because of people who take responsibility. Here is the main idea, the big idea of this podcast episode today. Hope doesn't live in someone else. Hope lives in you. It lives in your decisions. It lives in my decisions, your conversations, my conversations, your courage, my courage to step up when others stay silent. If every person in Richmond is waiting on someone else to fix it, nothing will ever change. But even if a small group of people say, not me, I'm going to be the difference, everything begins to shift. How many of you know that God always uses a remnant of people to begin to shift things? Right now, there are thousands of people across the Richmond metro area who feel, listen, they feel alone. They feel broken. They feel that they have no purpose. They're living their lives without hope. They're not waiting on a program. They're not waiting on a politician. They're definitely not waiting on a politician. Do you hear what I'm saying? They're waiting on an encounter with truth, an encounter with love, an encounter with hope. And that hope is only found in Jesus Christ. What kind of city do you actually want to live in? Picture this with me. Picture this right here, right now. Safe streets, people who care, a sense of unity, a place where families thrive. Now, here's the question most people avoid. What are you doing to help create the city? What are you doing to reach people in our city of Richmond, Virginia for Jesus Christ? Not what your church is doing, not what the government is doing. What are you doing? That's a question. What are you doing? Because the city that you desire is directly connected to the action you're willing to take. Here's the vision of Reach RVA. Here's the vision of Mark Thomas Ministries. This isn't just a podcast, man. This is a movement to see Richmond transform, not just outwardly, but inwardly. We're not just trying to make Richmond the city of lovers. We're believing for something much greater. We're believing that our city of Richmond, Virginia will be known as a city of Jesus lovers. Man, imagine that. A city where people aren't just loving each other on the surface, but they are rooted in the love of Christ. That changes everything. So here's how it happens, and it's simpler than you think. One person at a time, not crowds, not stages, not events. You, look at yourself in the mirror. You talking to one person at a time, sharing hope with one person at a time, sharing love to one person at a time, pointing one person to Jesus at a time through one-on-one evangelism. Now, multiply that. Richmond, listen to this. If you've never heard this stat, it's going to blow your mind. Richmond in the metro area has 650,000 people who do not know Jesus as their Savior, or they're not attending a local church. What if we actually took responsibility for reaching each and every one of those 650,000 people? Imagine this. It would transform our city. Imagine the impact that this would have. We're not going to reach them all at once, but we're going to reach them with one conversation at a time through one-on-one evangelism, one moment at a time by engaging in the mission of the Great Commission. What do we need to do to make this happen? Man, we need to see people differently. We need to stop walking past people like they don't matter. Every person, let me say this again. Every person you pass is an opportunity for impact. The second thing we need to do, we need to start conversations. You don't need a microphone. You don't need a platform. You just need courage. A simple, hey, what's up? A simple, hey, how are you doing today can open a door to a conversation that would change a person's life eternally. Imagine that. The third thing that we need to do, hey, we need to share the boom. Did you hear that? We need to share the boom. We need to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. You don't need perfect words. You just need a willing heart. Tell people what Jesus has done in your life. Man, that's where transformation begins. When people encounter the love of Christ, hearts change, lives change, families change, neighborhoods change. And when neighborhoods change, cities change. So let me ask you again, what kind of Richmond do you want to live in? Because that vision is on the other side of your obedience. Stop waiting. Stop assuming someone else will do it. Stop hoping change is just going to happen. You've got to know something. You are the answer. If you live in Richmond, Virginia, or the surrounding metro area, I'm challenging you right now. This week, share the love and message of Jesus Christ with at least one person. Not 10, not 100, just one person. Start there. And then do it again next week. Let's build momentum. Let's build unity. Let's build a movement. Because if enough of us take responsibility, Richmond just won't be a good city. It will be a transformed city, a city that shines with the light and the love of Jesus Christ. This is Mark Thomas Ministries. This is Reach RVA. Let's go change our city one person at a time through one-on-one evangelism, sharing the boom, sharing the gospel message with the people that live in our city of Richmond, Virginia through one-on-one evangelism. Hey, let's live to tell what Jesus died and resurrected to say. Boom!